Soft rock defined the 70s.
The year of the cat.
Warm voices,
But you're crying,
glassy roads,
You're a fine girl, what a good wife you would
and choruses built for long drives. But some of its most played sing-alongs have quietly slipped into the background.
And I just
Here are 10 forgotten favorites that once ruled the airwaves and still hit straight to the heart.
get my moving in, and I don't want to change.
Number 10, Just the Way You Are by Billy Joel.
Don't go changing to try and please me.
In a Midtown New York control room in 1977, a tender ballad lingered on the reels, while tougher tracks fought for space on the Stranger. The producer heard something timeless and kept it in the running.
You always have my unspoken passion.
Soon after release, late-night FM shows and weekend weddings turned it into a quiet ritual, the song people reached for when they needed reassurance, promise, or a reset.
I took the good times, I'll take the bad times.
Studio craft gives it that warmth you remember. Fender Rhodes cushions every phrase, brushed drums move like a slow waltz through a kitchen light, and the strings arrive with a soft glow that makes the room feel bigger.
I can talk to, I want you just the way you are.
Then, Phil Woods steps in, his alto sax tracing a melody that sounds handwritten, close, and human. Written as a private gift and shared with the world, it rose to number 3 on the Hot 100 in 1978 and later won Record and Song of the Year at the 1979 Grammys.
Love you just the way you are.
Number 9, Baker Street by Gerry Rafferty. After years of legal knots and waiting out a quiet stretch, a Glasgow-born songwriter re-emerged with a late-night map of the city in his head. The new solo chapter felt like a train pulling out at dawn, forward, steady, certain, and listeners immediately latched onto the feeling of starting over, even if the streets still glowed with yesterday's troubles.
Light in your head and dead on your feet, well, another crazy day.
Session chemistry turned that feeling into radio gold. Producer Hugh Murphy kept the arrangement unhurried, letting the groove breathe while Raphael Ravenscroft's alto sax drew the skyline in long, unforgettable lines. Acoustic strum and electric lift trade places with a lyrical guitar break, the rhythm section rolling like tires on wet pavement. It's the sound of riding through London at closing time, windows down, plans changing with every block.
Say that it was so easy, but you're trying.
Airplay came in waves. The single spent weeks at number 2 in the US, rose to number 3 in the UK, and helped push city to the top of the album charts, a permanent fixture of late 70s FM memory. Number 8, Escape, the Piña Colada song, by Rupert Holmes.
So while she lay there sleeping, I read the paper in bed.
A mischievous personal ad tucked in the classifieds turned into a radio mini-movie. The premise felt cheeky and modern, a twist on romance that invited listeners to play detective and grin at the reveal.
And in the personal columns, there was this letter I read.
Night after night, audiences leaned closer to hear the final turn, smiling as if they were in on a private joke.
If you like Piña Coladas and getting caught in the rain.
Electric piano and acoustic strum set an easy groove. Light percussion keeps the story moving, and stacked harmonies brighten the hook.
If you're not into yoga, if you have half a brain.
The production stays neat and unhurried, giving the narrative room to breathe while the melody slips into memory. Every element nudges the tale forward without crowding the punchline.
So I wrote to the paper, took out a personal ad.
Released in the fall of 1979, it closed the decade at number 1 and became shorthand for chance encounters and second looks. Bars, carpools, beach towns, anywhere a sing-along might break out, the reveal still lands, and the room smiles.
If you like making love to me at night, in the dunes on the...
Number 7, Baby Come Back by Player. Request lines lit up at stations across the country as a fresh chorus about second thoughts turned into a coast-to-coast sing-along.
I'm right back where it started again.
Club dates gave way to bigger rooms, and the tune slipped into everyday life where people shop, drive, and dance at reunions.
Morning comes, I'm right back where it started again.
Listeners heard their own regrets made weightless, and they kept it close long after the season changed. The record works because every piece fits without strain.
Come back. Any kind of fool could sing.
Satin harmonies ride a relaxed pocket while the bass glides underneath. Clean guitars answer the vocal, electric keys warm the corners, and the chorus opens like a window you forgot was there.
Baby, come back. You can blame it
Nothing hurries. The arrangement leaves enough space for the feeling to land and stay.
all day long. We're in a mask of false bravado.
Issued near the end of 1977, the single reached #1 in January 1978 and secured a permanent spot in the decade's soft rock canon. Years later, fans spotted bassist Ron Moss on daytime television, a reminder that one perfect hook can ripple far beyond the studio.
Any kind of fool could sing.
Number 6, Make It With You by Bread.
Have you ever tried really reaching
Morning shows leaned on a gentle new single to open the day, and evening DJs used it to slide from headlines into night music.
maybe climbing on rainbows, but baby,
The melody felt like a quiet promise, turning errands into small moments worth noticing. Requests stacked up, and soon it seemed every carpool, corner store, and kitchen radio shared the same soft refrain.
dreams there for those who sleep.
A patient acoustic pattern carries the rhythm, while a light pulse of drums and bass holds the center. Strings rise in measured lines, lifting the chorus without crowding
I
it.
really think that we could make it, girl.
The lead vocal sits close and conversational, as if confiding across a table, and the harmonies arrive like a breeze through an open window. Nothing forces the moment. The hook settles in by feel.
I wanna make it with you.
Written and produced by David Gates for Elektra in Los Angeles, the single became the band's breakthrough, topping the Hot 100 in 1970 and defining their soft rock signature for years to come.
I really think that we could make it, girl.
Let's take a quick pause before we hit the final 5. Which of these songs brought back the clearest memory for you? Was there a track you didn't expect, or one you've kept in your personal playlist for years? And which 1970s soft rock hit do you think deserves even more love?
Make it with you.
Let us know in the comments. We read every one. Number 5, Sister Golden Hair by America.
Tried to make it Sunday, but I got so damn depressed.
Studio talk turned to summertime singles when a legendary producer sat down with a California trio and pressed them to keep things lean. The writer came in with a breezy confession and a title that felt like sunshine on the dashboard.
Did I set my sights on Monday, and I got myself.
By the time test pressings made the rounds, programmers were already calling it the season's easiest ad. Chiming 12-string frames the verses, while a sly, singing slide line lifts the refrain.
I've been one for correspondent, and I've been two
The rhythm section moves with an easy skip, leaving plenty of air for the vocal to land like a note passed across a crowded room.
Meet me in the middle. Will you meet me in the
Nothing pushes. The parts click together with that polished West Coast ease that defined so much mid-70s radio. Cut during the Hearts sessions with George Martin at the helm, the single raced up national playlists and reached #1 on the Hot 100 in 1975. It's the song that still smells like warm asphalt and late daylight, a postcard from a season you can step back into any time.
Will you meet me out the middle? Will you meet me?
Number 4. Dreamweaver by Gerry Wright.
I have just closed my eyes again.
Within weeks of release, a midnight mood piece slipped into after-hours playlists and became a ritual for night drivers.
Fly me high through the starry skies.
Callers asked for the one that felt like a glide down an empty freeway, and stations leaned on it to close long sets. Soon after, it rose into the top 2 and carried the late shift with a calm, weightless glow.
Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe we
The recording builds from Fender Rhodes and string synth, a rounded electronic bass under a steady kit, the vocal floating with relaxed clarity. Guitars stay out of the frame. Layers of keys are stitched so smoothly that lift arrives before you notice. It captures the thin moment between waking and sleep, when city lights soften and the road turns into a ribbon.
Cross the highways of fantasy.
That architecture turned the track into a soft rock landmark and a fixture of night radio. Movie scenes, mixtapes, and long highway drives kept it alive across decades.
Meet me on the other side.
The opening bars still feel like headlights bending toward an open horizon.
Dreamweaver, I believe you can get me.
Number 3. Brandy, You're a Fine Girl by Looking Glass.
On a western bay, and it serves
A regional DJ flipped the single and the phones lit up. Word of mouth leapt from college towns to big city stations, and the label leaned in as bars started treating it like a late-night ritual. Within a few weeks, the story of a harbor town and a steadfast heart was everywhere, from jukebox corners to carpool lanes, because people could picture the scene like a movie.
braided chain made of finest silver from the north of Spain. A
Bright piano and acoustic strum lay the boards, a rolling bass line keeps the tide steady, and a crisp backbeat walks the verses down the pier.
The sailors say, Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good.
Hand claps and stacked harmonies give the chorus its lift, while tidy electric fills sketch the harbor lights between lines. Nothing overplayed. It feels like a band in a crowded room, close enough to touch. Momentum turned into a full-scale swell.
A locket that bears the name of a man that Brandy.
The record topped the Hot 100 in 1972 and settled in as a soft rock standard. Decades of radio spins, bar band encores, and soundtrack cameos have kept that dockside postcard pinned to memory.
When the bars close down, Brandy walks through a silent town.
Number 2. Year of the Cat by Al Stewart.
In a country where they turn back time, you go strolling through the crowd.
After a slow winter climb, a travelogue single eased into the U.S. top 10 by early spring and turned late-night FM into a passport.
You go strolling through the crowd like Peter Lorre contemplating a crowd.
Listeners treated it like a movie you could drive to, drifting through markets, train stations, and sun-bleached plazas while the story unfolded frame by frame.
She comes out of the sun in a silk dress, running like a watercolor.
The chorus became shorthand for wanderlust, the kind that starts with a glance and ends a continent away. Piano guides the journey with a circling motif, drums keep a patient stride, and guitars sketch sunlit details between vocal lines.
Shall I tell you that she came in the year of the cat?
Then the saxophone arrives and the skyline opens, unhurried and luminous. Nothing rushes. The arrangement trusts atmosphere and memory, letting scenes gather until they feel like places you've actually been.
The year of the cat.
Behind the glass at Abbey Road, producer Alan Parsons shaped the sweep, anchoring everything to Peter Wood's hypnotic piano figure while Phil Kenzie's sax solo became the signature flourish. The result? a top 10 staple that still sounds like a ticket to somewhere. Number 1, I'd Really Love to See You Tonight, by England Dan and John Ford Coley.
I'm not sure why I called. I guess I really just wanted.
On weeknights in '76, a simple invitation drifted through living rooms and car radios. It spoke to the space between hope and hesitation, the kind of call that asks for company without forcing a decision.
It's been such a long time and I really do miss you.
Across neighborhoods and city bridges, listeners recognize the moment instantly. A late hello, an easy plan, a chance to see what might still be there.
I'm not talking about moving in, and I don't want to change your life.
Acoustic guitar keeps an unhurried pulse, while electric piano adds a soft glow that feels like porch light on a warm evening. The melody moves with conversational ease, and the harmonies arrive gently, giving the chorus a steady lift.
But there's a warm wind blowing the stars around, and I'd really
Nothing crowds the vocal. The arrangement leaves room to breathe so the story can land like a friendly knock on the door.
stay at home and watch TV. You see, it really doesn't matter much.
Written by Parker McGee and produced by Kyle Lenning for Big Tree Records, the single reached number 2 on the Hot 100 and topped the Easy Listening chart. It opened a run of radio-ready hits and became a lasting shorthand for casual romance done right.
I'm not talking about moving in, and I don't want to change